Hello, everybody. This is the TtG live webcast. I have Nick Sakamoto here, also known as Yoshio, and I have Andrew Doan, also known as Doan.
Yo. Howdy, stranger.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't even know how
I
to
should
say
probably
it.
switch to our cameras right now. There we go. So this is our first webcast, and I'm pretty excited. So let's get right into it. TtG News. Nick, you want to take us off?
Sure. Actually, we are going to be running our StarCraft 2 tournament hopefully soon. And, yeah, I mean, we've been trying to get it going. We need to get some brackets up, but I think that we should hopefully get that up by the end of the week and get some games going, then hopefully be able to cast some games and get them up on the website so that people can start viewing.
This is also a cool time because we just had MLG 2 weeks ago, and then we also had BlizzCon last weekend. But all this bar crafting going around and everything has got me thinking that I want to host a little TtG get together. So for Providence coming up, supposed to be a big one, MLG Providence. I think we're gonna be all at the same place. LAN style, but without computers probably. So if any of you TtG guys are watching this, you are invited.
Should be fun.
But speaking of LANs, what is it, 2 weekends ago already? Man.
No, it was last weekend.
Oh,
No,
wow.
wait.
Well,
I don't know.
Last weekend, sorry, because we're still in this weekend.
We're still on this weekend, kind of.
All of us kind of made a trek up north and went to GeForce LAN 6. Now, this was my first GeForce LAN, but not my first LAN party, but this was everyone else's first LAN. So let's start it right off with some first impressions, like walking in. What do you think, Nick?
Man, I mean, first of all, I don't know if anybody's heard of GeForce LAN 6, but I'm sure you can Google it, or you should go to itstg.com and check out some of the posts. But it was just pretty cool. It was on an aircraft carrier. What island were you on?
The Hornet.
The island. I forget what island it was on.
Alameda Island.
Alameda Island, that's right. The USS Hornet, and man, it was really awesome just walking up to the aircraft carrier and it's this big GeForce LAN 6 sign hanging off the side of it, and yeah, it was pretty awesome just seeing all the people setting up and getting in with all 7 of us with our matching shirts and just rocking it. It was pretty sweet.
Yeah, this is the first time I actually went with a group and had matching shirts. I think the last time I went with a group, it was our A-Team clan, which was Envision 08, so it's been a while. And one cool thing about this LAN was that it was sponsored by Battlefield 3, which tonight actually is the grand the unveiling, or this launch. There we go, launch of Battlefield 3. But we'll get to that down in our news. Our discussion, I guess you can call it.
Discussion of it.
But let's go right back to GeForce LAN. So, favorite memories. Doan, you go first.
I wasn't there.
Oh, that's right.
I totally
You
wanted to
weren't
do that
cool.
to him. I did that on purpose. Not really, but Nick, favorite memory.
I have to say, well, I'll do 2. I'll say the most prominent memory was sitting up at 4 a.m. on Saturday with Alex, and we're the last 2 up gaming, and all of a sudden the power just dies. Ship. So we lost internet, we lost LAN, we lost
a game of StarCraft, I think.
Maybe we lost a game of StarCraft, yeah, and we lost power, lights, but our computers were still on because they had a backup generator for all our computers, but everything else died. So pretty much it was funny because the remaining people that were up the LAN, just people that were still awake gaming, everyone just died at that point because it was
yeah,
nothing much to do. But
what
I thought that was pretty funny.
Was that okay? The power goes off, but it immediately comes back on all the computers, but we didn't really know it at the time because all of our computers shut down. We were afraid to turn them on, but the ship lights were all off, so we figured whatever, all the power's off. But what I didn't know was that they actually had 2 humongous generators sitting outside that were running the entire LAN most of the time anyways. So once the power went off, they just went full on generators, but I didn't notice until I tried to go to the bathroom and the lights were off in the bathroom on this ship. So that was but yeah, we all crashed out. I think Nick found a good place under the table and joined everyone.
Yeah.
So it was good fun.
Yeah, it's good stuff. But I'd have to say, actually, I can pull it down right here.
Uh-oh.
One of my favorite memories was winning this little
damn
cutie pie at the LAN, man. It was pretty awesome. They did this really cool. If any of you have never been GeForce LAN, I don't know if this was the first time they did it or not, but it was pretty sweet. They decided to do these little scavenger hunts that they'd post to Facebook, and you have to be following them, and then you'd follow their directions, and then you'd end up winning a graphics card or something. And so Alex is like, turned to me like, "Come on, let's go back. We're gonna go try to find this." And I was like, "All right, whatever." So we get up and walk back to the back of the ship. And everyone's going crazy, like just sprinting to the back, like, "Oh, we need to find this thing." And I'm just like, "Whatever, we're not going to find it." So we get back there and we're walking around, and the clue was, like, I can see AT&T Park with a nice view, and I'm sitting in a vowel. So I walk back there, and we're walking around. People are just milling around out in the back of the ship, and I walk over these 2 guys, and like, "Oh, this is a great view of AT&T Park,"
So
and they're just
tight.
sitting there. And I just stood there for a second, and Alex and Jacob walk away. And I just turned to my left, and sitting like in a life ring is that graphics card. Like
Oh
people
my
walk
gosh.
by it, so I just walked up.
Mainly
And I was
Jacob
like,
and I think I even
Yeah, I was like,
chastised Jacob. Like,
"Thank you."
yeah, I chastised Jacob for like pausing. I was like, "Dude, stop interrupting these guys. They just want to chill." And we just like totally walked past it. But
But that's pretty awesome. So I'm now $200 closer to an actual gaming computer.
well, on that subject, I don't know if you can see it sitting behind me, but I got a graphics card as well, which is kind of making this stream possible at the moment because I think my old graphics card would have blown up right now. But yeah, I'd say my favorite memory of the LAN was actually when we kind of knew it was coming, but when Sam got the geared up thing on Sunday, pretty much an army guy came by, as an NVIDIA staff dressed like an army guy,
That's
and he's like,
pretty sweet.
"You got geared up, let me put a light on your computer," and gave him a t-shirt, but then they gave him a whole bunch of money to spend at the store, and Sam ended up spending it all on us, so that was probably
pretty
my
sick.
favorite memory. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Other than sleeping under the table and stuff, that was epic.
I
But,
think Sam won that, man. I think he was sleeping more of the LAN under the table than he's either playing StarCraft 2 or sleeping under the table the whole
Yeah,
LAN. I feel like
definitely.
that was his main things for the LAN
Definitely.
right there.
All right, well, in the spirit of keeping things moving, let's let's hit on our favorite game of the LAN.
Oh.
Let me go first. I think
Go for it.
my favorite game was we wanted to play TF2, but there was no one in servers except for this one server that's a TF2 dodgeball. I'd never played it before. I'm like, okay, whatever. And so I joined the server, and me and Mikey start knocking rockets back and forth. Pretty much everyone's a pyro, and you knock the rocket back and forth, and it was pretty hilarious. So by the end of the night, we had about 20 people on the server yelling and screaming, and it was just like the most fun I had ever had at a LAN party.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome when you just you can hear people screaming all over the ship. Like it's right when the rocket goes off, you hear just screams erupt. You're like, well, that's where those people are sitting. And
Yeah.
actually, I can do a shout out right now. I think they're probably not watching the stream, but they're on Steam. What was it, Cranberry or something? Cranberry Girl. And look
I
at
can
my
try
friends.
and pull up my friends list.
Oh, there it
stretch it
is.
over our faces. Oh. I don't have them. But
I have them, but I don't want to pull them over.
But yeah,
Cranberry ES Super NSFL. If you're watching, you were pretty epic in those games, I will say.
So we kind of stuck on this topic a while, but Nick, quickly, favorite game?
Favorite game. I have to say, first of all, Battle 1942.
Not a good game.
Never
By the way,
again.
I came in second, and some guy named Metal Slug won. Congrats,
Never
but
again.
you're way too loud.
So glad that game was free and I did not have to pay for that crappy game. I'd have to say that the dodgeball game was super fun, and it was super fun to hear people sitting around us like, "Oh, those stupid kids are playing that dodgeball game again," and we're like, "You're like 38 years old at a LAN, like going like crazy about some game." Yeah, there's some old people there, but they're freaking out about it, like, "Oh, it takes no skill to play dodgeball." It's like, dude, have fun.
I know.
It's a LAN.
Seriously.
But I have to say dodgeball. Number 2 would be Tron, but dodgeball would definitely be up. I think is the number 1 game. Just for overall fun with everybody. Just, yeah.
So we'll probably hit on Tron a little later if you have time. But so let's go to some more current events. Very recently, BlizzCon happened, which is the annual show-off party that Blizzard Entertainment does for all their games, which is like 3 games: Warcraft series, Diablo series, and StarCraft series. But we were most excited about the StarCraft part because Heart of the Swarm is coming out, and they came out with some new units. So, quick questions. I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone who's watching this, if there is anyone watching this stream, that what is your favorite unit that came out? Nick, what is your favorite unit?
Favorite unit that came out?
I know you're a Terran player, but you can go any race.
Alright, favorite. I'd have to say I feel like the Viper for Zerg is going to be pretty awesome. Because that pulling ability, I don't know how they're gonna have some fun times balancing that, I feel like. Because watching that was pretty just lolorific. Them just pulling Colossus off cliffs.
But I heard something.
Like, oh, you're gonna run away? Come back. And
I heard there was some Korean players at BlizzCon trying out the game, and one of them lined up all the Vipers in the map and pulled a Thor all the way across the map, like literally from the enemy's base to his base. Like,
that's pretty
so
awesome.
Ridiculous.
That's pretty awesome.
But I'd have to agree with you. The Viper is pretty cool, but I think all in all, if there's one unit that seems pretty overpowered, I didn't think so at first, but the Terran area of control unit is pretty badass because I didn't think that. I wish I could show you a video right now, but I didn't have it prepared. But pretty much it just roasts Zerglings, which makes everyone happy. Like at BlizzCon, everyone was cheering
pretty damn loud. I have to say I would agree with that. I mean, I know we have to discuss some basic new units affecting balance, and I mean, if anybody's watching this, you need to understand we are not pro players, so take what we say with a grain of salt.
I'm a very opinionated Gold League player.
Oh, very opinionated, that's for sure. But I will say, to start, let me fix my camera a little bit, because I don't know why it's so low.
Oh, mine
low
the whole time. Let me see.
Yeah, that's right. It's cool. So I will say, I remember when they first started announcing the units, and I was like, this game, man, it's just going to be even dumber with these new units. And then I saw them and read about them, and I was like, you know what? These aren't too bad, actually. I feel like they might help the game in a lot of ways. I think, unfortunately, I will say, I think that Protoss got like the shaft in this. I don't know. I'm not feeling their units. I mean, I'll just do it here. We'll do it this way. I'll do a basic rundown of the Terran. And then you can like do Protoss if you want. And then I will go back to Zerg. But so let me pull my list here. So they had the battle mode for the Hellion, which I would give an A+ to that thought process. Honestly, that's such a good idea. I mean, well, I mean, the thing is, like they were saying, like the Hellion is just like people complain that it's too cost effective of a raiding unit, but the problem is that like it's useless. Besides that, like
unless you're sure it's awesome for that.
Yeah, but with the nerf to the amount of damage it did, so now it can no longer two-shot shielded Marines. It created. I mean, if anyone watched the GSL finals, I mean, you can just see the MMA's usage of barracks units just once again dominated mech, where before the Boofim Hellions were able to two-shot those Marines, so it became a different style of the game, and just MMA just took it to MVP with Marine Marauder Medevac most of the time, and then transitioned to some siege tanks. But back to Heart of the Swarm units. Battle Mode for Hellion, I think it'll be awesome late game, especially like they're saying versus those charge lots, man, that just close in, and I think it'll help possibly make mech a viable option. They added the Warhound to replace the Thor. I think that's a great decision. We'll have to see how that unit plays out. The Shredder, which is an awesome name. If it at all references Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I will die a happy man. But if it doesn't, it's okay, because it's a pretty badass unit, as Alex was saying. Man, map control, dude. I feel like that's like, I mean, like they were saying, like that's the problem with Terran is that you can't go mech because it's so mobile in a game that is just so mobile. Like SC2 is just so fast and so like mobility is just king, and having a unit that can control space without having to like, oh shoot, I have a Zergling counterattack, I got to move all my units back here, instead saying, you know, I can buy this unit, put it up here, and at least know that for a basic counterattack. What are you grabbing at? For a basic counterattack, my units will be safe. So, as far as the Thor being that fantasy mothership unit, we'll see. So, I would say so far A+ for Terran, but I will say, as if anyone knows me, knows my complaint, my number one complaint is I think Terran's strong right now, but I think they're going to see a decline, man, just because there's no good macro mechanics, and they're not adding any macro mechanic, and I think once Protoss and Zerg figure out how to macro their races correctly, and I don't know how they're going to do it, but I think they have better, with Warp Gates and Inject, they have better mechanics for late game than Terran does, so that's my piece on Terran, and I'll let Alex do some Protoss talk.
Well, I don't have a nice list in front of me, but I'm going to go really quickly. There's...
I'll link you. Noob.
Oh, he's going to link me. Okay. Well, first starting off with the most hilarious unit, I feel, is the Replicator, which is like a 200 mineral, 200 gas waste of money. Pretty much this unit will run out in the middle of the map, and you can clone pretty much enemy units. It's like you have the Dark Archon ability from StarCraft 1, but it costs you a shit ton of resources. They show like really cool things where it turns into siege tanks and kills a bunch of
I saw that
marines.
video.
But to be honest, like if I did that to Nick, like okay, I take a siege tanks, he would just run his marines into my replicators before they transformed, and then the siege tanks are useless. So then I wasted like 1,000 minerals, 1,000 gas, and something retarded. I mean, the only thing I could think of doing is stealing an SCV, and then building orbital commands, and then getting mules for the win.
Just so you can have mules, so you can have another macro mechanic.
Yeah, more macro mechanics, the better.
Man.
But, so, I mean, kind of transitioning into my favorite unit from my least favorite is the Tempest. And the Tempest, I mean, in the beta was actually the carrier, or the Dark Carrier. And...
Oh, that's right, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Did it have the same abilities, though?
No,
the same
no.
attack? Okay.
The Dark Carrier launched interceptors, or whatever they were called, and they had a melee attack. So it's kind of air melee, so it's kind of weird. But they took that out and brought back the carrier, and they decided never to try and balance the carrier. They just got rid of it. So all of Protoss is kind of like sad and in some sort of mourning stage because we lost our hero. Like, okay, the Terran have the battle cruiser.
Man.
They have the battle cruiser, and they can like run around like, oh look how badass. Now I have like a blink battle cruiser now because they got like some charge ability, and then
That's right.
Zerg has the Mutalisk still, and also the Ultralisk, which now can blink apparently. So why didn't they just give carriers blink?
I don't know, man. They're giving everything else blink or run faster, so why the hell not give carriers?
I'm just kind of... At first I was... Whoa, what just happened? Okay, never mind. At first I was kind of happy to see it go, because it was such a terrible unit in Wings of Liberty, but now I'm kind of sad, because, I mean, the Tempest... Don't get me wrong, I'll get back to the Tempest, how awesome it is, but the carrier being gone is just kind of, like, depressing. Especially since I love 4v4 and going straight to carrier and owning the noobs, but
Oh, we can have Dome talk about the Zerg. I forgot.
yeah,
he's
we
here.
could. He's
What?
What?
So, anyways, back to the Tempest. So, sad day, carrier's gone, whatever. But the Tempest is the new air unit capital ship, costing 300, I think they said, which is pretty.
I don't remember.
300, 200, I don't know. It's expensive.
That's
so you're not
expensive.
gonna be able to mass them, but it is good on its own. So if you get Mutalisks in your base, it's got an area of effect attack that can just pretty much rape Mutalisks right now. Like the video.
Yeah,
that
there's more
BlizzCon-
cheering for that.
The BlizzCon video that went up about it seemed pretty unbalanced, to be honest. So I'm happy about that.
I think Dustin Browder said at least 20 times, this is not the final stats. It looks kind of unbalanced always at first. I think he said that probably 20 times as they just destroyed the mutas. Like 50 mutas were like...
And then the last unit, crap, close my stream, or my chat. Hold on 1 second. I didn't memorize what.
It's the Oracle.
Yeah. So I just wanted to make sure I remembered the skill exactly. The Oracle, as Nick said, is the new kind of caster in a way. It's very versatile. I think it's the best unit Protoss got because although it doesn't do any damage, it can really like take on a raiding role that the Phoenix never really could provide. And because the Phoenix, you have Phoenixes, you build a bunch of them, and then you're kind of stuck with them. They can't really do well at late game. But the Oracle can raid pretty much all game. He can shut down the other player's mineral line by putting some crazy force field over the minerals and stops mining until they're either the duration goes or they're destroyed. And then it also has, I don't know if they confirmed it or not, but there's an ability where it can move buildings, like warp buildings from one area of the map to another.
I heard about that. I know they have a disable for buildings because the video they said they disabled the spore crawlers or something.
So pretty much Blizzard is trolling all of us because they're going to take away the Overseer, but they gave Protoss the Oracle, and they just pretty much took units from one race and added it to the other. Like, we lost our mothership as well, and now Terran gets some Uber Thor. So, I don't know. Honestly, it's all speculation at this point, because all we've seen is video of people playing the units, so, yeah, I think we've harped on this a little too long.
It's good to hear about that stuff.
Yeah,
Don't you have the list up to talk about the Zerg units, or have you not looked at them at all?
I kind of looked at like little glimpse, and I've like just heard talk about like from other people's perspective.
I want to hear your perspective, man. Don't
My
give me other people's.
Your
I don't want to
opinion
hear someone
matters,
else's
alright?
perspective. Yeah, don't be ridiculous. I don't want to hear other people's perspective. Just yours,
just because you don't have a webcam.
dude. You're a token Zerg player, man. Come on. Adam says he's a Zerg player, but he's not.
Adam isn't a StarCraft player. Mikey says... Alright, so one of our viewers just messaged me saying that if you don't have a webcam, you can't talk. So, I'm going to throw on Doan's webcam a little early. There you go, Doan.
What? I have a webcam?
You're allowed to talk now.
Oh.
Okay, you're allowed to talk. There you go.
So I guess, let's see, Zerg came out with a couple new items, or new
I hope
people.
Mikey's watching this.
Where are the thingers?
I linked it in the group chat, dude.
Is it just Zerg? Siege?
Dude, Doan's like the Artosis, a state of the game, man. Link me. I need a link. I can't find anything. Give me a link.
Or Tyler, which should be like, yeah, they're cool.
Yeah, but they're cool. Give me a link. By the way, I love that show. And there should be on tomorrow night. It should be awesome. If you don't watch State of the Game, you should watch it because it's really funny. And they provide a lot of good StarCraft 2 news.
State of the game.
Don't. You need to start talking about the Zerg units.
And find it the freaking link.
I
I saw it and then I clicked on it and it was like, ow. Like, Ghost.
All right, well, Doan, you're gonna look that stuff up. Nick, let's talk about BlizzCon tournaments, specifically your hero MVP. And
dude, I just think he's a boss. But well, we kind of talked about it already. With I really think that he came into the tournament not ready for what MMA was going to bring. Which, man, like I said, we've talked about this before, but I really think that part of the reason Terran is so strong right now is because of the Slayers team, and it's going to remain that way until there's a team that has that much talent and someone like Boxer on it who's going to be helping him develop these strategies and, I mean, ways to overcome it. And just MVP got outplayed just flat out. I mean, even just watching when they just had like the production thing up, you could just see MMA hitting every single SCV, like every time, right on time, and MVP would just miss one or be like 1 second late, and then you could see each SCV count slowly and slowly getting more and more, the gap between the time just favoring MMA. So, I mean, he just got outplayed, but he brought it, man, on a... Because if you didn't know, at BlizzCon they had the GSL finals for Codes, and then they also had the BlizzCon Invitational Tournament or whatever, but, dude, MVP brought it back, man, and lost in ST in the winners finals, but then came back and beat him twice 2-0 and then 2-1, man, and just
see. I think MVP's ZVT is a lot better than his TVT. So
I think TVT's his worst matchup. I think he's good at TVZ, pretty good TVP, but TVT, I don't know. I've seen him be brilliant in it, but I think that was back when the Hellion could two-shot Marines. And
after watching the GSL finals, I saw two different styles of play. I mean, MVP favors a heavy tech, like lots of siege tanks, taking over the map, and then MMA is more of like, well, he's the Marine medevac abuser. I mean, he's the man who's all over the map all the time. So in the finals, I saw a lot of, like, MVP was forced to like split up his tanks to take, and then MMA was also dropping him in his main, and then also hitting him in the front. It was like he was everywhere, and he's like the new Terran. Like, I think the way Terran will be in Heart of the Swarm, and I think kind of the new meta is kind of like a fast-moving Terran, and then MVP is like old school mech style Terran, which it's good.
Yeah.
And in a ZVT, it's really good, but in TVT, man, it's just gonna get ruled, I feel.
We'll see. I think that with the Warhound, the Battle Hellion, and the Shredder coming in, I'm hoping we'll see a shift to mech, because I think mech just has so much more strategy involved. I mean, sure, running your forces around and splitting them up and dropping everywhere is awesome, but I don't know. Sometimes mech can just be just awesome to watch. Just people just pull off different strategies instead of just, let's run Marauders in. Oh, F Marauders, by the way. Run Marauders in, just go boom, 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 everything's dead.
I think that's a bullet point on our list.
Yeah, is that a bullet point? Why is the Marauder still in the game? Yeah.
All right.
I don't want to talk about that. We're not talking about that. Has Doan figured out Zerg units yet?
Kind of. I was looking at shoes.
All right. Well, we will. Nick already kind of touched on our Zerg units. We didn't really touch on the new Siege Zerg unit.
That thing looks stupid. I'm sorry.
2 units
It's
every
weird.
15 seconds. I don't know.
That's
You're gonna have to mass these
wait
somehow,
period.
but they seem really expensive.
I don't see what they're. I don't know. I mean, if you can see them while they're burrowed, I really don't see the point.
Yeah. It's
Like, I feel like it's a waste of money. Like, in all honesty, I think the Viper's gonna be awesome. I think, what else did they get?
Blink
Speed
Ultras.
buff.
Blink
Yeah.
Ultra, yeah.
Speed buff on the
Juggernauts.
Ultralisks.
They got something else, didn't they?
Speed buff for the Hydras.
Oh, yeah, that's a good.
Bane League moves underground.
I think that's stupid. I think that's the dumbest thing I've ever
The
heard.
Marine is gonna be dead.
I'm sorry. It's just, yeah. I mean,
Bioplay is
it's like,
gone.
yeah, they're trying to kill bioplay, which I kind of like, but at the same time, it's like killing it so hard because it's like you watch games
Hard
and
counter.
yeah, I mean, watching the game with. Sorry, I will admit I'm a Boxer fanboy, but I was watching the game of Boxer versus Lucky in IPL, and he was winning a game, and he lost because he didn't scan for one Baneling line, or there's two Banelings. They wiped out his Marine army, and he lost the game because of that. Like, to me, that's like you can make and break a game with one move like that. That's just stupid.
I feel like
now you can move them underground. I don't know.
I feel like
Subterranean analism.
one thing that Blizzard kind of overlooked was the Raven. I felt like maybe the Raven could have used a new skill, or maybe just a balance, like a tweak or something. Because with these movable Banelings, you're going to need way more detection. So Ravens are probably going to be now built a lot more, and as they stand, they're not really useful. I mean, like,
No,
I've seen
they're
people
not that
harassed
strong.
with like turrets and stuff, but I'm in Gold League. Like, you don't see Ravens really built ever, except for PDD.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I think it's one of those units that was like, oh well, we had a science vessel in StarCraft 1, so we need something like that in StarCraft 2. But we're giving EMP to the Ghost, and we don't want to use a Radiate again, so let's give it some abilities that the best ability costs so much energy that it's not worth it. The PDD is useful, but against Zerg melee, it's useless, and then a turret. So it's like, well, alright, it's got detection. I guess I need it.
yeah, no, it's gonna be
It's free detection. I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I mean, it's a fun game regardless, but yeah. I think we've harped on that stuff long enough. So
StarCraft.
more.
So before we segue out of StarCraft, I want to remind everyone that we do have a tournament that we will be pooling up players shortly. So it's looking like a lot of the players are from gold to high platinum level. Nick's in diamond, but I don't think he really deserves that. But
I don't. I really don't.
Yeah, so please sign up. Check out our website, www.itstg.com. Next on the list is Battlefield 3. The launch is tonight. I am not purchasing yet because I know I will not study for my engineering exam this Saturday. But my brother has pre-ordered it, and
I pre-ordered it.
Everyone who went to GeForce Land got an amazing preview of the game. We pretty much got to play all the maps, well, almost all of them. And
I gotta get my shirt still. I forgot.
Yeah, I didn't order mine yet, but
and my $20 off the copy too. I need to get that.
Oh yeah, I lost that. Oops. But I will say that the maps for Battlefield 3 look amazing. One thing that I didn't like about previous versions of Battlefield was that the player, like soldier versus soldier combat, felt really awkward, and also the guns, they all felt kind of weak. Like you'd have to shoot someone a lot to kill them, or like the focus wasn't the player versus player, soldier versus soldier kind of combat. But now in Battlefield 3, man, like when we played just player versus player maps, I felt like I was playing. I know this is gonna sound kind of anecdotal, but felt like we're playing Call of Duty almost. Like I felt like the shooting was very well balanced, and it was very playable. And then playing the Conquest maps, it was just the same, but now you have vehicles, which was amazing because the jets are just the jets. I mean, I'm having nerdgasm here, but
Top Gun.
I know that they still got some issues to work out, so I'm hoping that the release tonight reveals that they have worked on the squad play, so you can actually make your own squads and you can clan up. But overall, I'm pretty damn excited for this game. Nick, as a non-FPS really player and never really played Battlefield except for a really laggy version of Bad Company 2, what did you think of the game?
I mean, it was pretty awesome. I mean, just seeing I don't know, I think the graphics for one just blew me away. It was just like, wow, like this game looks just so sharp and ridiculous. So awesome. Like it's ridiculously awesome. But I think it was a lot of fun. I mean, yeah, like Alex said, I didn't start with first person shooters, especially on PC. I started with StarCraft. So as I've played TF2 and Counter-Strike, and as a first-person shooter, like it's fun. Like There's a lot of cool aspects to it. I hope they figure out how to get rid of that stupid flashlight in your face thing, because
So
man,
practical.
no, for like a beginning player like myself, like it's really difficult because I'm not
Shadow
used to
flashlight right
yeah. When I'm finding someone, and if I see them and I can't see where they are, I just see this blinding light. It's like, well, I'll shoot at the light because duh, they're there. But I could be shooting at a wall, or they could be behind a rock with just like their light sticking out and their gun shooting me in the face, and I
Yeah.
can't see them. And it's like,
Yeah.
well, like, and I mean, I remember someone said, well, why don't you have your tactical light on? Oh, there we go. There's a
It's
tactical light.
brighter than that.
Yeah, and it's worse than that. It's like it's like a sun in your eyes, and it's like,
And outdoors. I mean,
and
the
it's
one thing
to
that
me,
makes it
yeah.
ridiculous
Oh,
is that-
outdoors. Yeah.
is that I think it's a good concept, like for close combat, maybe play inside of like a dark room, but
Mm-hmm.
outside, I mean, you get shined by a flashlight halfway across the map, and you're literally blinded, and that to me is very unrealistic. And to be honest, the whole game is super realistic except for that. So it's kind of
Yeah.
intriguing to me to
Yeah,
see where
it's
they put that in
yeah.
there.
'Cause I mean, yeah, you could be like 5 feet from them, or like you said, across the map, and that light is still as bright as
Yeah.
it is 5 feet to like 300 feet, and still like blinding you, and they're shooting you. And but besides that aside, it's an awesome game, super fun, super just interesting. That all the options for just guns alone, whatever class you are. I mean, there's so many options to fit like the style of gun you like to use, the vehicles. I mean, I'm not that well versed with Battlefield, but just driving the basic vehicles around, I was like, wow, this is like super just realistic and awesome. And I don't know. I feel like I don't know. Did we play? How many people were on our Conquest map on that second day? 'Cause they can go to 64 people.
We
now,
were
right?
we were 64 versus, or we were at 32 versus 32, I think.
See, that's just crazy.
Yeah.
Don, how was because you did the beta, didn't you? How was that?
It was really good. Game was really smooth, but at first it was buggy as hell. But they eventually fixed that. For the most part, the game just felt really smooth from like transitioning from like running to prone to popping up and shooting and then zooming in. Just a really smooth game. So I was really excited for that. I didn't really get to play too much of the big 64 player maps. Because half the time I was just waiting for airplane to spawn. But for the most part, it was pretty fun just watching people just fly around with dogfights over top, and yeah, pretty awesome.
All right. Well, we're kind of running low on time, but any last thoughts on Battlefield 3? Nick, as a new player, recommend it? Yes or no?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, if your computer can run it,
There you
get
go.
it. I mean,
That's a good point.
it's a pretty intense game, and I mean, at the lower graphics, it still looks okay, but from what I could tell, the player-to-player combat it's funny. Like, it seems like at lower graphics, actually the conquest and like using the vehicles is actually better than when you're doing like first-person shooting. Like, in all honesty, like from what I could tell, I mean, when they were showing the graphics comparisons, it was like I was like, wow, that's really hard to play. It seems like at the lower graphic settings when you're playing like a 4v4, just guns with only no vehicles. But the vehicles seemed okay. But regardless, get it if your computer can run it. If not, get a better computer and then get the game. That should be your order of purchases.
Well, to take us out, I know this is our first live stream / video. We have a little special segment called Doan's Corner, where Doan's opinion matters, and we'll go straight into it. Pretty much what we're going to do is we're going to ask Doan a simple question, and he's going to give us his rating from 0 to Doan on what he thinks about it, and it could be any topic. So, Nick, let's start off with you.
All right, so I will start off. First question from 0 to Doan. MVP winning the BlizzCon tournament.
7.
7.
Only
All
because
right.
he's Taiwanese Korean. So no big. No
All
big.
right. Okay. Well, I'll let it slide.
All right. Well, Doan, what do you think about the earthquake in Turkey? Go.
7.0. Lots of buildings fell. Not good. Rating 8.
8. So
8
you
out
give
of
it an 8
Doan.
for like
8 out of Doan.
1,000 people dying. You give it an 8 out of Doan. That's pretty interesting. Okay. Okay. Next all right. Next one.
Interesting segue.
Yeah, interesting segue right there. All right. Robin Williams getting married. Go.
He got married.
Yeah. Come on, man. What's your rating on Robin Williams getting married?
Alright, let me see the wife. I guess my decision greatly affects.
Pull up justice, say link me, link me.
Oh, she's hot. Oh, JK.
Just kidding.
She's pretty good looking. She's pretty good looking for her age. I'd say
Third wife.
oh, what the hell? I don't know who it is. Dang it. I'm gonna say 5.
5.
5. I don't know
Alright.
who he got married to. So.
Alright, Nick, next one. Hit him.
Oh, I got the next one? Okay, hold on. Okay. Sherlock Holmes 2 trailer.
There's another movie coming out about that movie.
So, your
Yes, there
opinion
is.
matters. So
Your opinion matters.
Regardless.
I didn't watch the first one, so 0 because I decaf. Sorry, guy.
Alright.
Alright, well, to take us out, Doan, from 0 to Doan, last topic, Muammar Gaddafi's death.
10.
This shows.
Down. Down.
Doned.
Don't.
Got Doaned. So, I heard that when they captured him, they, like, knifed him in the butt or something like that. I don't know.
I don't want to hear
Down
about
shot.
That's too much information,
Don't
Alex. Why are you
shot.
giving me this information?
I don't know. Well, apparently his body is rotting now, but anyways, back to time to game. This was our first cast, and it was a lot of fun. Probably seems very disorganized, but it's our first one, so we don't care. And, just a quick rundown. We went over our upcoming plans. We got a tournament coming up, maybe a Providence party. GeForce Land went by. We liked Dodgeball. BlizzCon, new units, Marauders are OP. Battlefield 3 launched tonight. Doan likes it, and then Doan's opinion matters. So that'll take us out. Thanks guys for watching, and we will. I don't want to sound like Husky. I was gonna say see you guys next time.
And see you guys next time.
Toodaloo.
But we will be making more of these, so you guys should tune in. All right, later. Bye.